Why read? Simple. Because you can access the life's work and wisdom from great people from the past and the present for the cost of a takeaway. You could buy a book that changes your life, or buy a KFC Zinger box meal instead. If you chose the books, then keep watching. How many times have we read a book, and in the moment we think, oh, this is really good stuff, like I'm learning a lot here, and then proceeded to not use any of that information. And then we repeat this cycle. We move on to the next book. Reading like this just makes us feel smart, but it's pointless. The best way to learn and memorize anything is by putting it into action. Here are the 8 steps that I took to not only read more, but actually use the information in real life. Step number 1 is to treat books like YouTube videos. Skimming books is overhated and underrated. When you click on a YouTube video, do you watch the whole thing or do you skip through parts of it? Your brain is subconsciously processing the information in the video, trying to determine whether or not this video is valuable and worth your time, whether you should carry on watching or whether you should click off. You might see a video in the recommended section, which is a much better video for you. Do you sit there and watch through the entire video you're watching? No. The same way with a book. When you start reading a book, sometimes the book just isn't for you, but maybe for your future you. Maybe it's not applicable to you now. I used to think that if I didn't read every single page of this book, then I lack discipline. This is easy. How am I going to do hard stuff? How am I actually going to apply the stuff in the book, which is the hard bit? But I realized that you don't need to finish a book. You need to use what is relevant to you at your current stage of life. Place value on your time. Time is money. Step number 2 is to purchase any book that you're curious about. Because if you're not a reader and you don't like to read, then the best way to get into it is to start off by reading something you genuinely enjoy. There's this quote by Naval Ravikant which sums this up, where he says, read what you love until you love to read. Take the first step. It's like with the gym. If you were to tell someone who hates working out, never been to the gym before, you would tell them to start by doing the things they actually enjoy. To start off in small doses. Literally just walk into the gym for 10 minutes. Do what you like for 10 minutes and leave. And then next time you can slowly ramp it up. For example, when AI and ChatGPT was becoming a thing last year, I picked up a book about AI. I don't know anything about AI and it's quite interesting. This sounds like the future. Let me get in on it. Let me try and understand a bit of it. I'm not an expert on it, but now I know more. It can lead to you starting a project that changes your life. For me, personally, there was a book called The War of Art by Steven Pressfield, which actually inspired me to start this YouTube channel. I would not be making the video that I'm making right now if it was not for reading. Just get started, because you never know where this book can take you and how this one book can affect the trajectory of your life. Sometimes when things are especially busy, reading can be one of the things that I skip. Life gets in the way and that's okay. But for those people who are busy, who don't have much time, then this is where Shortform is amazing. They produce summaries and guides of books so that you can save your time and just take away the most high yield points. In a spare 10 minutes before a lecture starts or before bed, I can read a condensed version of a book with all the important and high yield bits included on my phone. I just finished my medical school exams, and around that exam period when I was super busy, I didn't have much time to read properly. When I got bored of studying and I wanted to take a break, I pick up my phone, I go on Shortform. Check out Shortform in the description below and you can get a free trial and you can get 20% off an annual subscription if you love it. Okay, step number 3 is to implement or apply what you've read as soon as possible. Otherwise, over time, without implementing, you're simply going to forget. It's like watching a bunch of studying videos but then not actually studying. All of these things feel productive. They feel good to you. You feel like you're doing something. But in reality, you're not moving the needle forward. You're not progressing. Because to progress in anything, you need to take action. You can't just read, sit back, observe. You need to actually apply. So once you've read the book, write down action steps immediately. Do them every day. Practice what you've learned. The best way to memorize something is to do it. Step 4 is to make a routine. Set aside a designated time in your day that is non-negotiable for you to read. If you don't set a designated time in the day to read, then life will get in the way and reading will always be pushed back to the side, because reading isn't glamorous, it's not sexy, it's not, you know, if your friend invites you out, obviously that's more exciting than reading a book on your own in your room. This could be half an hour after lunch whilst you're tired, while you're digesting food and you can't work productively. For me, it's before bed because it's a reliable and set period of time in my day, every day, which I can consistently read. It doesn't matter how little, let compound interest take place. Do it little and often every day and let the results compound before your very eyes. The 5th point is to read the books that are suited to the current stage of your life. This seems like I'm contradicting myself. What I'd say is, at the beginning, read what you're curious about to gain the love for reading. But then once you're at a point where you just love reading, read the books that are going to apply to you right now. So the next point is to reread books. It's a million times more effective to reread 5 amazing, life-changing books than to read 50 mediocre books. Double down on the books that are great. There's a study which says that you only take in around 10 to 20% of the information you read the first time. Even after reading it multiple times, you'll never truly understand 100% what the author's trying to say, but you're going to get closer to it. Every time you reread the book, you'll develop new insights. Things will click in your head. It's like rewatching a movie. If you've ever watched any of Christopher Nolan's films, great movies, but they're extremely complicated. For example, I remember the first time I watched Inception. I was about 11 years old. Did I understand what was going on? Not at all. Every time I rewatched those movies, I took away new things. I saw things in a new light. It's the same way with books. You discover new things every time. So the next point is important, is to take notes while you read. Sometimes books are written in such a way that is quite complicated. Sometimes you need to write it out in your own way. Now that you understand it in a way that you can, they will serve you much better in the long run than the way the author has. It will help you when you look back on this book and you're trying to rediscover the insights from it and apply the information. Okay, final step is to buy a Kindle. If you are planning on seriously taking up reading and seriously committing yourself, 100% buying a Kindle just makes sense from a financial point of view. You probably buy your books with Amazon, and books are significantly cheaper when you buy them through Kindle. So over time, you'll make massive savings. Books that cost £12, £13 cost £4.99 on Kindle. And also, a Kindle is way more portable than books. If you have limited space, if you are going on holiday or going on a trip and you want to discover insights from multiple books at once, then the Kindle is tiny. It's also great because you can highlight and make notes on the Kindle itself. Whereas, I don't know about you, but I'm not as keen to scribble and write all over paperback versions of books. Right now, take action. Think about what you're genuinely curious and interested about. Find a book on that topic. Buy it, read it, and make reading part of your routine. Reading is the reason I started a YouTube channel. Reading is the reason that I developed the discipline to go to the gym. So many things have started in my life because of reading. Learn from the greats, learn from the leaders, the innovators of the past and the present. All you have to do as a sacrifice is skip out on that takeaway. The choice is yours. As always, God bless, and let's win together.